Guys, welcome to Two Guys Garage. Today's show can be summarized in 2 words: meat and potatoes. The all-American chariot of the free world, a Jeep Rubicon.
Yeah, but you know what? This one's a commuter. It's about to be a rock-crawling machine. Death at 2 miles an hour. We're gonna upgrade this thing step by step. Stick around.
All right, come here, guys. I gotta give you the backstory on our Jeep. So we teamed up with Rancho. They've been in the dirt and on the rocks longer than anybody, 60 plus years. And they've teamed up with a company called Twisted Jeeps. Moab, Utah, the mecca of rock climbing. The most hazardous places, the trail names are called Hell's Revenge, Metal Masher, Cliffhanger, and so forth. Now, Twisted Jeep is a rental Jeep company, but not just a normal rental Jeep company, the baddest machines on earth. Imagine what you do in a rental car when nobody's watching. That's their job every single day. That's what we're building this for. Twisted Jeeps and Rancho, the mecca of rock climbing. So that's a little backstory on why we're building this guy and why we teamed up with Rancho. Now, let's get to some hop-ups. I wonder what my man Kev is doing.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm gonna get you up to date because we've already got some progress done. Now, we're gonna do the real deal out on the heavy rocks. So we got some serious suspension going on. So this is Rancho's. This is their 4-inch short arm suspension system on here. And you can see right from the gate, look at the girth on these upgrade parts, right? These things are solid. They're high strength, low alloy steel, so we can bang off those rocks. We can climb up those hills. So we've got the full suspension here. You can see the control arms that are in. We've got some relocations to get everything linked up just right. We've got our new coil springs on here. We got a new jounce bumper pad that's going on there. And we got the killer Rancho RS 5000X shocks. We'll get in a little more detail about the special valving. But let's move ourselves forward and start getting this project just cranking. Now getting started on the front, this is already a bad dude from the factory.
Yeah, man, it's a Jeep Rubicon, so you're already working with some great upgrades. For example, the live solid axle, a Dana 44 as opposed to a Dana 30 or IFS. Great thing about this, on the fly you can lock the disc, because when you're out there on the trail, you want both those tires clawing, scratching, and hanging on for dear life.
Cool stuff, but you know what? This is the next car going in the rental fleet, you know, for Twisted Jeep. So we're gonna make this thing even tougher, more capable, and beefier. So let's start ripping it apart. All right, to get things kicked off, we disconnected the sway bar links. Top and bottom, we're gonna replace those. Then we took the track bar out, and then we got the drag link. So that guy's hanging out of the way. Next, the shocks can drop out, the springs fall out. Now we got things really loose, ready to start getting to some upgrades.
Yeah, Kev, when you say parts, you mean as much happiness as we can get onto a tabletop.
Yeah, that's a lot of happy right there. All right, man. Well, we got our safety jacks on here and we are flying. Control arms are coming up right now.
Yeah. Let's get these old control arms out. Now, when you're putting these new control arms in, make sure you want to use something like this little white lithium grease. Get it good and lubed up. And when you put these guys in, you don't necessarily want to tighten them all the way down. You want the weight of the vehicle and ride height to sit there and then really ratchet and torque them down to spec. Now, something else we want to show you that we're doing. Okay, we did a relocation box, basically, for this track bar that used to mount up here. That's going to keep that geometry right on the track bar. Also, it gives us a new pivot point for our steering stabilizer. Now, these things, hugely important if you have big tires on your truck or your Jeep, all right? Because this thing tends, if you don't have one of these, to shake, shimmy, follow the road, and so forth. This is going to quiet and calm all of that down. Super durable, 1 3/8-inch piston, really durable, really tough. Highly recommend you get one of these if you go to big tires on your rig. Okay, courtesy of a little pulling down from Kevin, a little pushing up from me. We've got a new coil spring in here, got it indexed properly. Now we're working on the new shock from Rancho.
Yeah, now just like the rear, this is the RS 5000X. Now what that has is progressive engagement damping in it. So this valving system is pretty cool because it's got eccentric shims in the little valve body pack. And what that allows is, for the small washboard stuff, it can soak it up, so you got a smooth ride.
That's cross-tune technology right here in this shock.
Yeah, but because that eccentric shim, when you hit the big boulders, boom, it can allow more flow and it can soak up everything from the small to the big.
There you go, man. Not leaving well enough here. When we come back, we're talking exhaust and a new sound on our rock crawler. Stick around.
I'm working on an old project and keep getting held up by rusted nuts and bolts. Do you have any tricks? When you start tearing apart an old project, use CRC's Freeze Off. It will break loose any amount of rust, no matter how tough the job, and here's how it works. Spray Freeze Off on the rusted nut or bolt, and it immediately drops the temperature of the area in direct contact with the spray. This freeze shock action cracks the rust for deeper penetration and faster removal of the rusted part. The lubricating film in Freeze Off also displaces water to prevent corrosion in the future. This tip is brought to you by CRC Industries, makers of Brake Clean, the #1 brake parts cleaner.
Nice job. All right. So now we have our Dynamax performance exhaust system tucked in and up underneath this Jeep. Now check it out. It's 2.5-inch mandrel bent stainless steel, strong stuff.
Yeah, what's cool about a system like this is for high clearance rock crawler applications, because anything that's hanging down is likely to get snagged, ripped off, or smashed.
Yeah.
So you can see the old muffler used to be sitting right up under here, and you can imagine all this space now is cleared for rocks and boulders and things as you're going over and egressing. And
right. Well, exit angles are huge, especially when you're dealing with rocks, and to have something like this all clunky and soft sitting right here, bad, man. You bust that up, restricts the airflow. The old Jeeps, kind of like the one I have, used to have the gas tank sitting up here, so a lot of guys would skid plate it and help slide off those rocks. Well, now you could do something similar with this guy.
Yeah, now we got rid of this one in the rear, and we put their Ultra Flow, it's a polished stainless unit, right up in the middle section and up out of the way. So everything is cleared, we're ready to go out there and hammer down.
Look, when you're headed to a pajama party in the middle of Moab, this thing's gonna be sounding sweet. Boom. All right, earlier I was saying that Rancho has been in the dirt and on the rocks for 60+ years. And it's their attention to detail like this that I absolutely love. From Rancho, now this is their crossover exhaust pipe kit. It's made from mandrel bent 409 stainless steel. America, all right, it's tough stuff. Now what that is gonna do, if you compare it to the stock one, see this guy goes straight across. And this guy's bent just ever so slightly. But a little space here gives you a lot of space out here. Because when you articulate over rocks, there's gonna be moments where this drive shaft comes way down. If you had that stock piece in there, you're gonna run into interference right here in the drive shaft, ruining your day. But you get this crossover kit from Rancho, you're good to go.
All right, so we got 4 inches more travel, we got more clearance. Now it's time to bolt on some armor.
Yeah, man, you want people to laugh and point at you, go out without this gear right here. Case in point. You go out, you get your rear end or your front diff hung on a rock, it's gonna peel that cover right away from that case, boom, all your 80 weight, your 90 weight goes right out on the trail. People are pointing, laughing, hitting you with a clown hammer. I'll make it really simple. You wanna be tough on the trail, you gotta have this stuff right here. Skid plates, diff covers. Let me show you how it bolts up. Just like that, right? Slide right over rocks, no problem. Nothing to get hung up on, okay? It's gonna help tremendously. They're all powder coated red, in case you can't see that.
Yeah, and they got smart angles, so you're gliding right over in both directions. So if you get hung up, you can pull backwards. Now we've also got some armor plating, so this is for the lower control arm mounts, right? So that bolts up there, so boom, you got some skid resistance, right? You can go right up and over without damaging the brackets on your differential.
Yeah, man, it's tough stuff. Now let's get it on our tough truck. Man, now trust me on this, the last thing you want to worry about when you're going up a rock face that you swear is 90 degrees, right, is worried about your tire. So in comes the Falcon Wild Peak MT. Now we got this from Discount Tire, all right? It's got exceptional tread compound, great, durable, and it bites hard. Has Falcon's proprietary 3-ply sidewall. But here's what I love about it. These tread blocks, really important. See, they have tapered edges and they're split. Now what happens when you have that is when you deflate the tire, when it's really low, and you got just a tiny rock lip that you're going on, right? You go all the way to the vehicle and you're climbing, you got white, knuckly, lotiony hands girlfriend on the side just holding on, all right? These things are gonna pull through. These little taper blocks give, bite, all right? They twist, they fight.
Yeah, man, quit telling your little fish stories over here. Let's get some of this hardware bolted on. Now speaking of, all that is wrapped around some sweet MB reels. So these are the MB11s. Now what's cool about them, just like the tire, they're rugged, made for the trail. So you can see we've got a scratch guard bolt-on ring. So this is a heavy-duty nylon. So you're not gonna break, split the rim. tear it up, right? This comes off. Now, let's get this thing wheeled over. Now, this thing is set up for modern vehicles, right? So you got your TPMS sensor capability, and it's nice and behind this ring, so it's going to stay safe as well.
Protected.
Yeah. Now, these things.
Tell me which way to go, boss. I can't see it.
A little up. All right. So we got the flat, matte sort of finish, but if you want to spice it up, you can get the machine face version. And what's also pretty cool is, they come in all kinds of truck sizes, but you can get them for your ATVs and your utes. In smaller sizes, they look just as cool and are rugged.
Our lift kit was rated at 37-inch tires. So guess what size we went with? 37 inches. Out. Hey, when we come back, we're hanging more taters in the form of a big gnarly bumper off this girl. Stick around. All right, hey guys, if you're noticing sputtering starts, no starts, or a lot of stalling, it might be time for you to replace your fuel pump. Now, a lot of things obviously can lead to poor starts. So check and see if all your connections good, there's no fuses blown, make sure your fuel pump is actually getting power. If that's good, you might want to put a fuel pressure gauge on your pump. That way you can see if loss of pressure, because loss of pressure may indicate it's time to replace the pump. Now here's the unfortunate part about replacing a pump. It's a big job. You got to drop the tank. Requires a lot of disassembly. So that's why we highly recommend going with a product that meets all the OE standards. The last thing you want to do is spend a lot of money on a part that doesn't meet those OE requirements only to do the job over again in a couple months. Now this fuel delivery module from Motorcraft is going to give you the best fit and quality per your application. Now it's a single stage turbine pump. That means it's going to run super quiet. You're never going to hear it in the cab of your car. So you have in-laws that you don't want to hear talk, this isn't your pump. It also has optimum pressure and flow rates. Has all the OE connections like this. It's going to guarantee you a leak-free positive connection. Has a lifetime in-tank filter, and most applications come with the inline filter that you could change out accordingly. Now that's important too, because if these inline filters get restricted, it's going to cause this pump to have to work harder. If the pump works harder, it heats up, and that will kill it prematurely. And that's why it's real important to replace the inline filter as well as having a really good quality filter in the tank. Now Motorcraft fuel delivery modules are built to last. They put them through over 70 tests. Make sure they can handle all the electrical loads, the fuel levels, the operating ranges, and so forth, even using inferior sort of quality fuels or blends or even excessive additives. So when you invest your money in an OE part like this Motorcraft fuel delivery module, you know you're getting a part that meets all the performance standards and qualifications, and you're getting the right fit for your application. Motorcraft's fuel delivery module is available at Federated Auto Parts.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by MyClassicGarage.com, the online destination for classic car enthusiasts.
Locked and loaded, sir. We are ready for ramming speed.
Yeah, man. All right, look, you don't want to be out on a trail with this little plastic, flimsy,
Wet noodle.
yeah, exactly, of a bumper. We're talking 1/4-inch plate steel. What else needs to be said about that thing?
Well, places to hook lots of hardware like hooks, right? Winches. So we got our Warren Xeon wrench on there. Boy, this thing can pull you out of some serious deep trouble.
And I love the fact that it doesn't have anything hanging in the way of your approach angles, right? You can climb up right up on a rock instead of having the front bumper here. All right, any obstacle, tackle it with these tires, you're good to go. All right, now let's show you this rear bumper that we're taking off. It's plastic. The thing doesn't weigh anything.
Dude,
Let go of it, Kev.
This is right out of like a Ronald McDonald Playhouse.
Yeah. Now, there is no way you're going to hook a hijack to this thing. I could destroy this thing with a Bic lighter in about 5 minutes. All right? So this has got to go out of there, man. All right, now look what we're replacing it with from Rancho. Again, 1/4-inch plate steel. You have to appreciate that. All right, tough stuff. And again, uses some of the factory mounting hose. Really simple. Slides right over this way. All right, you got some nice grade 8 bolts.
So it's about that easy to put on. So we're going to drop a couple bolts here through the top. Now what this is going to do is, like you said, not only give us a bumper, not only give us a hijack point, but we can start putting some accessories on here like the jack itself. Now this system comes with a cover plate because previously we had our tire mount sitting up here like so, and we got a tail light. So this is going away. Our new system is going to replace all of this.
Right.
So that cover plate kind of does its job there. Once this is bolted up, we can put our high jack here.
Yeah.
This guy
Okay.
comes in like so. So you can kind of see how that would work, right?
Okay. Get
So,
in there just a little bit. There you
I'll
go.
give you 3 guesses what this is for.
All right, now our big bad spare tire also comes, all right, with a little third brake light. All right, uses all the factory wiring, so you don't have to worry about that. It's gonna go right in here. You hang your big 37-inch spare right in this place. And like Kev said, you got a place for your high jack. And the great part about this is, as you know, if you do a lot of wheeling, rock climbing, and so forth, you need something sturdy back here. There's gonna be times where you're stuck. You're gonna have to hook onto that bumper, and you're not gonna do it with that old thing on there, all right? So we'll get this bolted up, mounted on, and when we come back, we're gonna tackle the doors. Wait till you see what we have for that.
One thing about most aftermarket accessories is that they require fasteners to bolt them on. Many come with commercial grade fasteners that are adequate for the installation. Unfortunately, most of this hardware will rust and corrode over time, diminishing the look and integrity of the fastener. Using premium quality polished stainless steel ARP fasteners makes sense from both a functional and aesthetic point of view. With nominal strengths of 170,000 psi, ARP fasteners are considerably stronger than grade 8 hardware. The 5-pack includes bolts and washers. They're available in hex and 12-point heads in standard sizes from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch and metric M6 to M12 with underhead lengths up to 6 inches. All ARP fasteners are made in-house in the USA. Whether you're replacing headlights or interior lighting, upgrading to LED technology from Wagner can make for better illumination and many more years of performance than your standard bulbs. This is Wagner's TrueView Plus LED mini lamp. It projects a brighter, whiter light pattern than incandescent lamp would. Plus, it's built to last over 10 years. You can use these to replace your dome lights, instrument panel, or other interior lighting. Wagner's TrueView Plus LED sealed beams are a great upgrade for your headlights. They offer a crisper, brighter view that extends your field of vision with a longer and wider beam pattern. Both of these applications are plug and play for easy installation, and they each provide 15,000 hours of performance. They feature a bulb-free design that virtually eliminates lamp damage from road shock and vibration, so you won't need to replace these again anytime soon. You can pick them up at Federated Auto Parts. Your automatic transmission is like a Swiss watch with lots of small moving parts that must perform with precision. But stiction can build up in your transmission, causing hesitation, which creates shifting and slipping issues. Before you spend a lot of money having your transmission worked on or replaced, try treating it with Transmission Stiction Eliminator from Hot Shot Secret. It's formulated to magnetically bond to the metal parts of your transmission for an immediate impact by getting underneath the stiction and removing it. At your very next startup, you will begin to feel the difference in shifting, and your transmission's performance will increase. Transmission Stiction Eliminator can safely be used in all automatic transmissions, whether the vehicle is gas or diesel. Transmission Stiction Eliminator from Hot Shot Secret is powered by science. This is Metal Rescue's Rust Remover Bath from Workshop Hero. It's a water-based rust remover that is non-toxic, non-hazardous, and biodegradable. It's clean, safe, and easy to use, and also reusable. 1 gallon of Metal Rescue, like the bottle you see here, will remove up to 1/2 pound of dry rust. If your project is a small one, you can store Metal Rescue and reuse it for up to 1 year after it's open. Take a look at this. Metal Rescue out of the bottle starts with a clear appearance like water, but as it begins working, it literally pulls the rust off the metal and slowly darkens the water in color. You can actually see that Metal Rescue is working by the color of the liquid. Soaking rusted parts in Metal Rescue saves you a lot of extra work and elbow grease, and since it's biodegradable, as long as you haven't let any type of grease, oils, or gases get into the bath, you can just dump the used Metal Rescue down the drain and store the unused portion for your next project.
For more information about anything you've seen in today's show, check out mavtv.com or visit our website at twoguysgarage.com.
So welcome back. Check it out, our Jeep project. Missing a little something here, but replacing it with something right here. And these are our tube doors. They drop right into the factory hinges, which is nice. Now what that's gonna do is, once you're out here on the trail, this guy locks in. You can put your side mirror. You got good visibility, right? You got crash protection. You can see the rocks or your buddy putting on the slider bar.
Yeah, I guess I'm that buddy. And besides, man, when you want to dry the sweat off your brow from eating burritos off the intake and wheeling all day, you do it the good old-fashioned way. Take the top off, take the doors off, let Mother Nature do it. It's got AC, but why use it?
That's right.
All right, now sliders, let's talk about this. They'll get you up on a rock and allow it to articulate, slide down so it doesn't get hung up on any of this stuff. Big savers out on the trail. It's more rock gear from our friends at Rancho. Tough stuff. And the next time you see this truck, it's gonna be covered in blood, sweat, and dip spit. It's gonna be out at Moab.
So, man, we had a good time on this project. Hope you guys did too. See you on the trails.
Two Guys Garage is brought to you in part by Federated Auto Parts. Best parts, best people, best service. Vehicle transportation provided by Pilot Transport, auto hauling specialists. Professional POV cameras provided by Replay. Record, replay.